Well, this was going to be just a simple, hey, let's just take out that rotten bed and make it a little bit bigger. Well, as with every project that we start here, it always seems to develop into something more. And every time we have to dig here, it's always an adventure. So I'm not going to spoil what's happening with this bed, but for all my friends that live on the prairies and have beautiful, nice soil to dig in, flat loam, I kind of hate you some days, like today, but lots of sweet potatoes in there. We got them all out though. And that's a busy day. More later. Hey everybody, another weekend update. This was not a greenhouse update today. This is a raised bed slash garden update. This started off as a simple rebuild of a raised bed that was getting rotten and old that we built at the beginning of COVID. It was worked out fine, but it was getting bad. So we decided to expand a bed. In the process of expanding the bed, the project expanded a little bit. So you saw the before pictures. Well, this is the after picture. You can kind of get an idea where the original bed was by looking at the end of the soil over there, I guess it would be. But we started on this project and realized, well, we're going to have to do a lot of digging just to get the back wall. If we wanted to just do a simple back wall like this around the back there, we would have to do a lot of digging to get down there, which led me to propose putting in this little fence wall, which I'm super happy we did. This area, this has always been a real problem. This is always sloped really badly here and really rough. So anytime we were sitting as a family around the fire pit or walking around here, your chairs were always like tipping off the face of the earth. It was a real problem area. So we'd wanted to put a wall in there for a long time and just kind of think about what to do. And then after, once we got started on this, I was like, well, why don't we put this in? And so we did. There's probably those fence posts that you see, one on the corner, and there's one in the middle and one on the far end, and then one in each of these spots here. As you can tell by looking at some of the not cleaned up parts, this soil is just builder fill and stone. So every one of those posts could not be pounded in. I had to dig a hole with that bar and clean it out, put the posts in, give them a few whacks to get them set, and then backfill them and tamp them, which if you've ever grew up on the prairies and a cattle farm, you might have done that as a kid. I did. Thank goodness I knew how to do that. Thanks, Dad. But it ended up making a really strong structure. I was quite happy about that. And it's going to take a lot of soil to fill this, but there's going to be 2 apple trees going in here. So it's going to get filled up really fast. And we have a pile of plants just waiting to go into this space. There's 3 yards of dirt in the driveway, roughly. Maybe not quite 3 yards, something like that. Just waiting to go into this. So that'll be this week's project. Will be filling this bad boy up. We're going to sheet mulch this with some cardboard and then fill this up and get it planted out. So it is Sunday night and I'm just about falling over the posts and I'm super tired and sore. old guy, but it's worth it because this is going to last, God, probably 20 years. So I'll be over 70 before this thing rots out, probably, with the pressure treated stuff that's in here and the galvalume. So, and it'll be a real feature area for the family, as well as a great place for growing stuff. So there we have it. Thought I'd do a quick update too on some of the planting that has happened around here. This weekend we did some planting as well as all this work, so I'll show you some of that too. Pretty excited about this one. This space is a problem. I mean, you've got, those aren't stones, that is bedrock. Now luckily this area below here slopes off and there's a fair bit of soil depth in there. I was able to get down almost 18 inches to 2 feet when I dug this hole out for this apple tree. So we plugged in some comfrey, which will make a bit of a root wall around that little tree, and that'll help pollinate the apple trees that are going behind us in that bed that I showed you there before. But that's fun. Got that done. Planted out the 2 fruit cocktail trees in the front bed, and then put our ground cover in. We got some glads in there, some nodding onions, strawberries, and in behind this, up against the greenhouse, is a cool plant I can't wait to see, which is a rat-tail radish. Stay tuned for that. It's got edible seed pods that are supposed to be super yummy. So that was planted out as well this weekend. Vanessa was busy with that. Just take you down to a couple other plantings. These aren't from this weekend, but they are recent plantings, and I'm excited about both of them. So also we'll get a chance to take a look and see if there's any bees around. Okay, so let's have a look and see if there's any bees flying. Today is day 2. Probably not flying anymore tonight. It's gotten chilly and a little bit windy, but they have been out and about, which is super exciting to see. Let's see if there's any up the front here. No, everybody's gone to bed. That's all right. So down here, a couple of plantings. Look at this. Our wildflower seed spreading is finally starting to come to fruition. Beautiful. I don't know what they are. Don't know that I really care. They're gorgeous, and the bumblebees just love them. All right. This guy right here. This is a quince. Now, we got this last year from a guy, and it's about 8 years old, and it's from a cutting off a 100-year-old, well, that's probably an exaggeration. That was what he said. An old quince from one of his clients. And I was able to dig down and get a fair bit of mineral soil around it in this area, so I'm really excited to see what it does this year. There was a quince on it last year, and I see buds. I've never seen this before because this is the first time with a quince, so I don't know if those are flower buds. You guys tell me. I'll look it up too, but that's pretty exciting. Probably needs a pruning, but we're gonna let it go this year and just do its thing and get itself established. Also, a couple things I'm pretty excited about. We've got, let's see here. This is a native red elderberry that just self-seeded in that spot. And it's surrounded by foxglove and mullein. It's gonna be a beautiful spot. So I'm really excited to let that tree grow and do its thing. They make fantastic, we use it to make champagne, which is really delicious. And then up here, another area, there was a stump in this spot. So I dug it out and transplanted in a blue elderberry tree that we got from someone, and cut it into a bunch of different cuttings. I have 3 other cuttings that I'll be planting out, but this needs a drink. Slowly but surely, The food forest and the orchard space is starting to take a little bit of shape. Look at that purple dead nettle. Amazing how big it is this year. And the bumblebees just love it. The bees are all in it all the time. So there's the weekend update. I forgot a couple of other things. There is, tucked away in this little spot right here, some native tall Oregon grape that I planted this week as well. It's a bit of a rough area here. Usually the wildflowers take over this spot, but this is the kind of area that this plant should be able to survive in. There's another guy down there. They're beautiful. In the spring, they make really fragrant yellow flowers, and then they produce an edible but sour berry that I'm really interested in trying in honey as an infusion. I think will be really cool. So look at these cool daffodils. We didn't plant those. I don't know if anyone did or if they just self-seeded them in, but they're a beautiful color and going strong still. So geraniums, so much life here. It's lovely.